All right, welcome to the Canary in the Cage podcast. I'm Ron Morgan. I'm my co-host,
Dave Havlicek.
We're here to educate you, entertain you, and hopefully at least make you giggle.
And sorry that we missed you last week. We did the whole show.
No, we did a podcast last week.
Oh, but we didn't record it.
Well, is that really that important?
I don't know. You know what I think it might be? There's the FBI or China or someone has hacked your laptop.
It was Iran. We all know it's always Iran.
Yeah.
It used to be Russia.
No, and actually, like, you just did it right now.
I know.
Where you pressed the button and it didn't record. So, like, because last week I saw you press the button and then it just wasn't recording.
So Alibaba's doing this to us.
I don't know, but now we've figured out the fix.
We are recording. Okay. I have a time. Shit's moving. So let's get started with this shit show of a week. I don't think we're going to go back to last week, but we might
cover some of the stuff. But
so, nothing really happened. What did we talk about this week?
Well, there was a new year. 2025.
Merry Christmas, because you didn't hear that last week. Or Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, or blah, 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 blah.
Saturnalia, I believe Saturnalia.
But Festivus, too.
Festivus.
We got to celebrate Festivus. For those you don't know, Festivus got started on the Seinfeld show, and instead of a Christmas tree, they have a stick.
An aluminum pole.
And you got to tell your family members and friends how they let you down that last year. That sounds like a great fucking holiday to me. All right, so I want to start with a question off of our X account.
Oh, okay.
So, Dave, who is Thomas Quitter?
I have no idea.
Well, I was just kind of going through the X account.
I know who Thomas Crapper is. He invented the flush toilet.
So this guy apparently sent us a message.
Oh, really? We got a message?
Well, it's been a while back. It's been like before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
And he sent you his phone number and told you to call him.
Oh, that
guy.
Okay.
What the hell happened? What did you do? Piss in his cereal?
We were arguing about something. I don't even remember, because I think I ended up blocking him because he's just a fucking spam idiot, and like. He was like.
I think he's in a wheelchair too, by the way.
Oh, that's yeah. Now I remember. It was he said something like, what started it? It was something about the wheelchair, getting wheelchairs for people, and I was like, well, why don't you like start a charity or something like that? Because like he's complaining,
yeah.
And then I'm like, well, why don't you go do it? Who's stopping you? And then, like, he started, just complaining, and I don't remember the exact details because it was a couple weeks ago. But if I go back on our timeline, I could find it.
I tried to, but it was from like the 23rd.
Yeah, it's a while ago.
You apparently post a lot.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
yes,
so I guess the inquiring minds want to know. Did you call him?
No. Where the fuck would I call some random fucking asshole that like? It was like, I forget the exact, like I said, I forget the exact thing, but it was something where, like, he could start doing it right now, but he's not doing it, but he wants to complain about it not being done. It's one of those things.
Yeah, I've ran into people like that.
And I'm just like, dude, just, like, fuck off, like, solve the problem yourself or stop bitching. Pick one.
Oh, I wish other people would follow that advice. Kind of like you and Charles, but
what do you mean? I'm trying to solve the problem.
Okay. So we're not going to get into that shit show of a conversation because it never ends well because it's just like blah, 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 blah. So I guess, we got to start with them. The New Year's Day events.
Yeah, okay.
New Orleans or Vegas? Which one do you want to talk about?
I really didn't look at a whole lot into either one.
Yeah, I typically give it a day or two, but because the podcast was today, I kind of did a small deep dive.
I just don't care about this stuff. Like, I just don't care, man. It's just, stupid shit happens. There's crazy people, and they're going to do crazy things, and, like, you can't just assume. I'm not saying it wasn't a conspiracy.
You're not safe in public. You have to understand that.
For sure, yeah.
This shit sucks.
Yeah.
They were not border crossers. They were homegrown terrorists.
Yes, both were born in America. Yeah.
Well, the both people that they're saying did this were born in America.
Right.
Obviously New Orleans.
The Vegas guy, we don't even know that that's the guy because we have a charred body that nobody can identify.
But they had what?
And they have a passport and
a military ID.
Government ID, yeah.
So he was a crispy critter.
Yeah.
His inside of his truck was literally on fire.
No, actually, I was thinking about this today because...
No, I looked at the video. I watched the video.
No, I'm not saying that the facts are wrong. What I'm saying is I want to take one of my old passports and see what happens when I try to burn it.
So the passport
Because I'm pretty sure it's somewhat fire resistant.
Yeah, but the military ID is not.
I don't know. I actually have a government ID, and it's fucking hardcore.
I got a friend of mine who used to have one. She's like, yeah, it probably would burn.
And I picked up my government ID, and I was comparing it to the photo. I'm like, damn, that's the same fucking ID.
Okay.
So, yeah. And it's not a military, but it's the same...
But we're not talking a lighter to it. We're talking like full...
No, yeah. You throw... I can't throw my government ID in a fire, because I need that, but...
Wait, you work for the feds? You're a Fed?
Yeah, I'm a Fed.
Did you just admit that?
Yeah.
Were you at J6 as a
I don't
instigator?
answer questions like that. But no, I do have an expired passport. I think I have it somewhere, and I could throw that in a fire and see what happens.
Well, but I think the chip inside the passport would start sparking and throwing off.
I don't know.
Oh, you admit there's chips in passports. Okay.
I don't know if there's a chip in a passport.
We're bringing David Long down this conspiracy
I don't know if there's a chip in a passport.
Real good. So we don't know, because here's the one thing, because he was active military.
Yeah.
On leave from Germany.
Okay, I didn't know that part.
And he got into a fight with his wife, and he lives in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
So he went on Turo and rented basically a tank.
Yes.
Or a bulletproof vehicle.
Yeah.
And decided to put bombs
They're not
in
very bulletproof.
What?
The Tesla trucks are not bulletproof.
Dude, look at the video. That Tesla, body-wise, it's in great
I've seen
shape.
people like shoot their trucks and
No, there's a guy in Summerlin. He shot his up and it didn't go through.
Maybe a 22.
I don't know what he used.
Little bitch 22,
but all I can say is the eyewitnesses claim the Tesla Cybertruck pulled up.
Yeah.
Kept his foot on the brake.
Okay.
And then it blew up.
Yeah. Now, did anybody hear a gunshot?
That's my question.
Or
a muzzle flash.
Maybe
against the head. Maybe yeah.
But people were suggesting, like maybe it was on, like maybe he had already died, but it was on autopilot. Now I don't know if the Tesla autopilot can do this. I don't know.
So I don't know if they fixed this, but all Teslas, if you use a tennis ball trick, you tape tennis balls to the steering wheel.
Yeah. And
it believes that you're holding on to it.
Okay.
So were there tennis balls in there?
I don't know.
Do tennis balls burn?
Those would melt, yeah.
Because there was when I lived in Seattle, there was a dude taking a nap while driving.
Yeah.
And he had 2 tennis balls.
Now I know a guy here in Vegas that pre-ordered a Tesla Cybertruck.
Yeah.
And he rents it out on Turo. Now I don't know if it was his truck. I haven't seen him lately.
The Cybertruck was rented out of Colorado Springs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he drove 12 to 15 hours.
Weird.
To do this.
Now why? Why would you go to Trump Towers?
A dead guy was in a truck for 12 to 15 hours.
Yeah, I don't know. If he was dead, he was dead in Vegas.
Oh, he shot me here in Vegas?
Yeah.
Well, that's weird because where I work at, we had a bullet fly through my building at like 5 a.m. on New Year's Day. I wonder if I should look into that. Maybe they shot him in the parking lot where I work at and the bullet went through. No, that seriously happened, though. I literally came to work and a bullet went through a window.
And I saw, like, at a wildfire near Fremont Street, they had, like, 50 cop cars.
Wait, a wildfire, or was that the hotel on fire?
No, Wildfire Casino.
Oh. Wait, was that 2 days ago?
It was on, New Year's.
That was a hotel. It was a abandoned hotel. Or did you see a news?
No. This was, like, a photo, and there were, like, 50 cop cars. Wildfire are these, like, little mini casinos that we have here in Vegas. They're sort of like Jackpot Joey's or Red Dragon.
Yeah.
So there's a wildfire near Fremont Street, and there was like 50 cop cars. Like,
so there was a fairly large fire in a hotel that was abandoned. Obviously, probably set by homeless people. We tend to have a little bit of a homeless problem here. But I don't know. I mean, you lived in Chicago for a while, but I don't know. You know what happens during regentrification when the owner doesn't want to sell the property?
Squatters?
Yeah, you got that. The city will roll in, the county rolls in, starts fighting you about improper stuff, and then sometimes mysteriously your ship burns down.
That was a big problem in Greektown.
Oh, okay, they're burning shit down.
A lot of restaurants burn down in Greektown all the time.
So, and let me guess, a bagel studio, a yoga studio, or a condo building went in their place?
Well, nothing had. The last place that I know burnt down, nothing was up in its place by the time I moved out. So.
All right, so here's a quick fact.
I can check right now,
If you live in a city or an area that's booming and you see a yoga studio and a bagel shop, you're regentrifying. It's coming. Rents are going up. And shitheads going to move in with their man buns and everything. Although I do wear a bun myself right here. But I wear mine ironically. No, that would make me a hipster, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's crazy. I wear mine so I don't have long hair at work. I I don't give a fuck. I just got home from work, so it's still in the bun. But mine's a cool bun. So, yeah, there's a lot of questions about the eyewitnesses. Never saw the muzzle flash, never heard the gunfire.
Yeah.
And I would think they would hear at least the gunfire.
Right.
So I don't think he was trying to kill anybody. I mean, just with the bulletproof truck and because you all know, even if it's not bulletproof, the weakest part of that truck is the cover of the bed.
Okay.
And did you see the picture back then? He had either sticks of dynamite or fireworks in there.
Yeah,
that didn't explode.
Right.
So, but guess what? He was active duty military, and he was a Green Beret with training in firearms and explosives. So he built a bomb that didn't go off properly?
So it's hard to get good equipment as a civilian. Well, I guess if he's active,
military, man.
But did he steal it from did he go and steal it from a base or?
And here's the thing. I'm kind of I always take like a 24-hour pause on shit like this. But again, because of the podcast and stuff, I wanted to at least have something to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem legit to me. I'm not saying it wasn't him. I'm just saying something doesn't. And so I'm kind of waiting for friends and family to start being interviewed. Because I mean, every once in a while you'll get, oh yeah, he was definitely a mass shooter.
Yeah.
Or we expected him or he was very calm and quiet. He was a very shy guy.
Right.
You get one of the two. I want to see some interviews with some friends and the wife he was fighting with. Where's his wife at?
Right.
Because the media, if it bleeds, it leads. So, and then there's the other theory, which I kind of tend to go for, and I just forgot the name of it. So
MK Ultra?
Yeah, MK Ultra. I got it marked in the book. So I've actually talked about this before. This is the book Chaos. This book talks about Charles Manson being an FBI asset, and he was testing people for mind-altering drugs. So it goes into a lot more detail about this. But the one thing about this book, I'm not much of a reader, so I'll watch interviews, and usually my wife will read the book for me and give me the cliff notes. But this one I'm kind of going through because it really interests me. Oh, it actually says Charles Manson, the CIA, and the secret history of the '60s. So, but the interesting thing about this book is, now we all know what citing the source means, right? Where you make a claim,
yeah,
and you cite your source.
Yeah.
So, all these pages here are citing, this guy's citing the source. This book, at least at the time it was written, had more sources being cited than any other book written.
I don't know about that. You have a source for that?
The author?
Oh, so he said it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, did you see that? I mean, show me other books. No, I may not be talking about textbooks. I'm talking about books that went from retail to sell. I mean, dude, that's. I mean,
I've seen bigger appendices than that. Definitely.
Than this?
Yeah.
I think off a page or two.
I've definitely seen bigger appendices than that.
I don't know. I mean,
when was this book written? Also.
Probably the 2019 era. I almost forgot to word.
I've definitely seen books with bigger appendices.
But are they textbooks and
no, just like pop science or pop stuff.
Well, I think you decide that source. 2019, the book was written.
Yeah, that's
by Thomas O'Neill.
I'm probably sure.
Tom O'Neill.
Pretty sure I have books that have bigger appendices than that.
I mean, the guy made the claim. Nobody refuted it. So
yeah, I think he's a little full shit on that one. Most nah.
Look it up. I mean, I guess I'll have to look it up and bring it on next week because I'm not going to mess around the fucking camera and shut off the camera and be sitting there talking to him. What the fuck was that good for? Absolutely nothing. Oh, you're supposed to say it again.
What?
So what is it good for? What's he good for? Absolutely
fuck
nothing.
Outta here.
Say it again. So, the Vegas bomber that killed no one except himself.
Yeah.
So that's I guess a smaller story than New Orleans. I do believe
it is weirder though.
It is very weird.
Yeah.
Is it a message to Trump and Elon Musk?
Who the fuck?
I know.
But why?
Oh wait, no. But the FBI's on the case.
Oh, okay. They'll get right down to it. Now, apparently, he was pro-Trump on social media and stuff.
It says who?
Well, actually, that's going to be part of our topic today. So,
because I actually heard something similar to that, but they're all like, and maybe he was. I mean, again, the MK Ultra can kind of like make you do stuff you don't normally want to do.
I don't buy that stuff. Like I know the program existed for sure, and they tried to do it. I just don't think they had a whole lot. Like they just fucked people up instead of made them into mind control soldiers.
Book's called Chaos, dude.
Yeah,
you like to read it. So I also want to bring up something else off of X, but unrelated to this guy yelling at guys in wheelchairs.
I didn't know he was in a wheelchair.
I don't know if he's in a wheelchair or not.
No, I think he is, but I didn't know he was when I started arguing with him.
So if you ever meet him in person, you have to fight him. You have to sit in the chair. I have to strap you to a chair.
I'm okay with that. Still have the advantage. My legs actually work.
So our presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party that got less than a whole number, he made a post. It kind of pissed me off, so I'm just going to bring it up. Number one, crime is at a near record low. He didn't say across the country. I'm assuming that's what he's referring to. And the second point he made is the persons who perpetrated the attack were born and raised in the USA. Now, this is a textbook example of using a tragedy to score political points. Politicians do regularly. They never let a good tragedy go to waste. Okay, yeah, you're stealing that from a whole bunch of other people. It's not your thought. And he was responding to a tweet or an X or whatever from Trump. And he is right about number two. But again, U.S. citizens have been radicalized, so it's still terrorism. Just saying. Does he believe crime is down at all-time record low in this country? Does he actually fucking believe that?
So, like we talked about on that show with our guest Ken Good, it really depends on what scale you're looking at. Well, it's up in the last couple of years, right?
Well, when the FBI doesn't report their crime stats,
yeah, it's hard to compare.
That. But they did come out recently and said, we messed up.
Right.
Yeah.
But now, so like, if you look at a 100-year time span, yes, we're at low, like very extreme lows.
100 years.
Yes. But if you look at a 10-year time span, we're at an all-time high for that 10 years.
I mean, I've always thought the 80s had like the worst crime rates.
The 60s, 70s, and 80s were the worst in modern history.
I thought 80s were even worse than like the 70s and 60s. But 100 years is going back to the 20s.
Yes.
So,
crime was a lot worse. Crime was a lot worse. No, that was before the Depression. Depression was started in 29. It started in 29, October 29 officially.
Oh, that's when supposedly a whole bunch of people jumped out the window?
Yeah.
They only have one person on record jumping out the window?
Crime has always been worse.
On a per capita basis?
Yes, per capita.
See, that's bullshit.
It's not.
No, if you look at, so what's the 5 worst crime cities? What's the five worst crime cities in this country?
No, that keeps changing. Who the fuck knows?
Well, give me a New York, Chicago, LA.
Yeah, New York, Chicago. Well,
but on a per capita basis, they're not even in the top 10.
Well, that's what you're saying. Like
that's bullshit.
Well, okay, so
I mean, I get it. I understand. The more people, you got to factor that in. But to do it on a per capita basis, it makes it look like Chicago, New York, and LA aren't that bad. Now, these numbers could have changed in the last couple of years.
There's no good way to fucking like do this as a whole, right? Because let's say you have a small town of 20 people, and someone gets murdered.
Right.
Are you the most dangerous?
Now the worst city in the country.
Right? It's not the most dangerous city in the world.
They'll do it on like 100,000 or 10,000 or 200 or whatever.
But you still can't do that in a tiny town. It doesn't make any sense to apply that kind of reasoning to a small town. And it also like so for Chicago, for example, where we're both I'd say we're experts.
Yeah.
Right. Chicago as a city is not dangerous. It's only these little neighborhoods where it's very obvious that I should not go to that neighborhood, that's dangerous.
You don't think that changed like 5 or 6 years ago?
It's gotten worse, for sure, yeah.
I mean, do you know why it got worse?
Well, like a lot of these crazy leftists were marching for...
Well, no, actually, the federal government got involved, and they RICO'd all the gang leaders.
Okay.
So these gang leaders, they were businessmen. I mean, they weren't like bankers and lawyers that became gang leaders. They ran their gangs like a business.
Yeah.
The one thing I always kind of thought was cool... Again, if a person, like a teenager in their territory, showed promise of being a rapper or a sports player, they were off limits. The gang leader would make sure they had money to buy shoes and stuff. They took care of them.
They did that in the old mafia too, right? Like a lot of these bands, like Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, Frank Sinatra. Yeah. These were all like well-known, connected people.
Right. So when the gang leaders got RICO'd, there was a hole left in the thing, and they obviously got they promote from within.
Yeah, but
they should really advertise that.
Even there, like where I lived on Michigan Avenue, you're not in any danger. Like the most dangerous thing you might run into is like a drunken frat guy on Saturday night, right? But after I left, they were literally trashing the store on Michigan Avenue that my wife worked at. Yeah. They were marching about tearing down the Columbus statue, which
Murders
I could see from my window.
Huh? Murders at Navy Pier.
Right. Yeah, so it's been getting worse lately. But compared to the 60s, the 30s, the 1800s, it's still way safer now. And the trend is going in the wrong direction. So we do have to reverse that. But
I just have to look at it. I know the 80s numbers in Chicago were fucking horrible.
Oh, they're terrible.
I'll never tell you my story about meeting an off-duty cop in Naperville at ZZ Top concert.
I don't think so.
So I like live music, and I do. I like a lot of music. I don't like fucking crowds. So this was an outdoor venue in Naperville. So I had to go to Naperville.
Ripfest?
Yeah, I think it was Ripfest.
Yeah, there you go.
But ZZ Top was playing. So
okay, they had good shows at Ripfest.
So I stopped on the way there, grabbed my cigar, and said, "Wife, son, get as close to the stage as you want, intermix with the crowd. I'm going back here." So I'm in the back, like way in the back, just smoking my cigar, and some big burly dude walks up, and he's like, is this a smoking section? I go, it is now. So him and I were talking, and we were just kind of talking. We realized we both live in Chicago. And he was acting a little cagey about like what he does for a living. I'm like, what do you do for a living? Because it's just like, I don't know this guy. What else are we going to talk about?
Right.
What stick are you smoking? I mean, it takes about 30 seconds. And he was a little bit cagey. I'm like, well, I mean, I run buildings and I'm a building engineer. I'm like, so I go, that's what I do. He goes, I don't like telling people this because they annoy me, but I'm a Chicago cop. I go, oh. I'm like, that's cool. I'm not going to be asking you questions about, whatever. But I go, but kudos on getting the murder rate down. He goes, well, I mean, the murder rate is down, but the shootings aren't. I go, what do you mean? He goes, we're shooting more people than ever before.
We're just better at keeping them alive.
He goes, it's the damn doctors not knowing when to take a coffee break. He goes, if it comes in looking like a gangbanger, acting like a gangbanger, take a coffee break. Let it die. I'm like, okay, cool. That's a great perspective.
I think you met my dad at Wordfest in Naperville. I think that's what happened there.
But I mean, in Chicago, seriously, we've had ER rooms where they've been treating gangbangers, and more gangbangers run in and still try to kill the dude. We've had shootouts in our ERs. I mean, we have. It was fucked up.
But again, like that was always confined to very specific neighborhoods where, like, you knew not to go and they knew not to escape.
No, agree.
And but it's been getting worse.
It has changed.
It's been expanding
since they RICO the gang leaders because there's been turf wars going on. I mean, look at like Bucktown. Not Rogers Park. Fuck, that's a shithole. Where was that? I'm forgetting the Chicago names. Those neighborhoods were always fairly safe.
Yeah.
Not because of the cops, because cops take too long to respond. I mean, it's not their fault.
It's just the composition of the neighborhood.
But it was the dads in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
We still don't, I think I did mention this before, we still don't know the neighborhood that if you fucked around in, you found out by getting stripped naked and thrown in the Chicago River. Every once in a while, the dudes be like, another naked guy in the Chicago River. We're like, I don't know who's doing it, but keep doing it. That's, they're not going to kill you. I mean, that is unless you take their parking spot during dibs. You take their parking spot during dibs, man, you take your life in your hand. Dibs is if you shovel your car out in the snow.
We already went over this.
Yeah, okay, well, now we got new listeners. This is a quick one. You own that spot for 24 hours. Don't park in it. So yeah, now that we went down the Chicago history, I guess it's time to get on the New Orleans.
Okay,
what the fuck that was.
Yeah, well, early on, people were like, there was a photo of like the guy had a flag on the back of the truck, and like they had wrapped it up. They had wrapped it up and like tried to hide what it was. Now I don't know if we found out what it actually was.
It was an ISIS flag,
but it looked like an ISIS flag.
Oh, look at Dave over here. It could have been kind of
because I never saw an unfurled photo. Okay, I only saw the furled up hidden photo.
Enough internet sleuths called it an ISIS flag, and I'm willing to say that because the media lies.
Yeah.
The FBI lies. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the people that haven't lied to me yet.
Yeah, and the guy he was Muslim, or not, I don't want to say Muslim, but
a Middle Eastern descent,
Middle Eastern,
but American born.
Yes, And apparently he had just recently started getting into ISIS shit online, or like I don't know where you even find this stuff. Like, where
I know. I've been looking. I've been trying to join ISIS.
Like,
I just can't. I don't know. I guess I'm typing. I may be spelling ISIS wrong.
ISIS, send me your phone number on Twitter. What are you doing? What are you guys doing?
No.
No, like I don't know. And so here's the thing. Like sometimes people just go, they snap and they go crazy.
Yeah, they do.
And like I've seen this happen to where they didn't get violence. Maybe they committed suicide or just I've seen things where somebody had a YouTube channel, right? And they just started uploading more and more bizarre content, like 20 times a day.
You kind of see the downgrade.
Yes, you see the descent, right?
Yeah, the descent, yeah.
And it's like schizophrenia, or who the hell knows what's wrong.
And I think schizophrenia usually pops up in your late 20s anyway. So this could be medical related. I mean, I lean more conspiracy than anything else. But yes, there are medical events that do this. There are current events that make you go crazy, or there are drugs the government gives you that makes you go crazy.
Now, people were talking about there are these barriers.
Good, because that's what I was going to bring up next. Go right ahead.
That block access to Bourbon Street.
Yes, they pop up. Well, they have two different types. They have the bollards that pop up, and they got a plate that pops up.
Now, I was there in 2019.
Okay.
And I don't remember seeing those things there.
I was there like a year and a half ago.
It was in August.
I was there a year and a half ago, but I don't typically look for them.
Yeah.
Because when I was there, the roads were open. I was there for work actually. So
now I remember the roads were open, but Bourbon Street was not to cars.
And during the day it is, because you had deliveries of alcohol.
Even during night. They
usually shut it down. Yes.
Well, there were cars when I was there. They were like stuck waiting for people to walk.
So every time I've been on Bourbon Street at night, and I can't tell you.
Not on Bourbon Street, on the cross streets.
Oh, the cross streets.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, okay, so the bollards were not up.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing any.
No, they weren't. No, they've been admitted, and I'll tell you why I know.
But I don't remember seeing them when I was there.
Right. So the bollards were not up, and it's just like, okay, fuck nuts. You're gonna expect me to accept this? You paid money to put something in, and you're not gonna use it? This is kind of why.
I'm saying if they normally don't use it, then
no. Bourbon Street was wide open to pedestrian traffic.
Yeah, it always is.
No. I'm talking about the roads. The road because the bollards they were not up, but there was a cop car in its place.
Okay.
That's why I go, oh, okay, that makes me feel better, because I don't like hearing, oh, we didn't put the bollards up and we didn't know a guy was going to drive through.
But I'm saying I don't know if they're ever up.
Well, they're
except
not.
for like Mardi Gras.
They're broken.
Well, there you go.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So they spend taxpayer money to put these in, and they don't apparently maintain them.
Yeah.
And I kind of go back to Katrina.
Okay.
Do you know how many? Katrina, New Orleans is underwater.
Yeah.
So they've got like retaining walls or levees.
Yeah.
All around more of the poor areas of New Orleans.
Right.
Shocker. Like I was seeing an interview after Katrina, the guy's like, "Yeah, I used to, as a kid, I would watch the ships go by."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Fuck, what?" But the flood now. Somebody said some levees broke in New Orleans. I do not remember that story.
Okay.
I'm not saying it didn't happen. I do know they were cresting the levees and coming over.
Yeah.
Over half their pumps weren't working because they didn't properly maintain them. The fuck, guys! Your sea level is minus something. If your sea level is minus, maintain your fucking pumps.
So like I said, I was there. I believe it was 2019, and we stayed in an Airbnb about a mile from the French Quarter.
Okay.
So like every day we would go and walk over there, and we would take a different route every day.
Take your life in your hands, but okay.
As I've recommended on the podcast, take a different route. Yeah. Dude, we were the most. It was me and my buddy, and we were the most dangerous people around. Like no one was gonna fuck with us, trust me. But there were massive potholes, and when I say pothole, like you think of something that you like your tire bumps and like you get annoyed. Yeah. No, like this would fit a whole fucking car.
So right? What I'd like to say about that in Seattle, they have their potholes have potholes. So it's probably similar.
But those were from Katrina. They just never got fixed. And like there was a road next to some railroad tracks where they had just dug the whole road out, and it was just an empty pit for the whole length of the road.
So they
don't give a fuck down there. They just don't give a fuck.
If I were to guess, what political party is in control in New Orleans, would I be right or wrong?
You'd be right.
Oh, Democrats? By the way, fuck you, Ray Nagin.
So funny thing about New Orleans Democrats, so in Chicago, there hasn't been a non-Democrat mayor since 1938.
Yeah, it's been a really long time.
New Orleans hasn't had Democrat mayors or non-Democrat mayors since I think the early 20s. So they have Chicago beat.
Yeah. So my problem with Ray Nagin. Ray Nagin was the mayor of New Orleans during Katrina. I believe he messed up a lot, and he has a lot to do with the cause of the city. One, you're not maintaining your shit.
Yeah.
Okay, but that wasn't my problem. He could have bussed people out sooner, but instead put them in the dome. And there was no security in the dome. There was a lot of shit going on down there. And that's wrong, but he was doing a speech probably 6 months after Katrina. Now, mind you, I'm a decent guy, but I don't really go to a lot of fundraisers and charity events because I don't trust the flow of the money.
Yeah,
I don't. But I'm like, no, we're going to do this. We're just going to take, have faith that it's going to go there. This motherfucker went on the air and was like, oh, we're the city people forgot about. We're the chocolate city. So the American people don't care about us.
Okay.
And honestly, that really pissed me off. But that wasn't quite the end of it.
Yeah.
Because I actually was boycotting New Orleans for quite a few years because not only did he say that, and did he mess up Katrina? Because it really wasn't FEMA. FEMA has like a 72-hour window before they're going to be there.
Yeah.
They're not going to come into an area where a hurricane's coming through and be there waiting. They're going to sit out in the outskirts and mobilize. He got reelected. Now, what I was told later on was they bust a lot of people back from Houston because they sent a lot of the poor people to Houston. They busted them back to vote for him. So there was a little bit of weird corruption, but still, I mean, you let him get back in. He's in jail now. I forget what he did. I'm sure it's kind of.
They all do something. Yeah. So, let's talk about this week's Monero challenge.
Oh, you want to do that now?
Yeah. So we got to throw it in randomly to throw the listeners off. So here's the challenge. What was I doing on July 12th, 2003? Just tell me what I was doing. And there's going to be a bonus because we missed last week.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a bonus giveaway if you can show me a street view photo of where I was.
Oh, are you on Google Maps?
Use Google. Use whatever you want.
Well, okay, so
Street view.
I believe you were still living in Chicago. I'm going to give you a little hint.
You're not allowed to know. Shut the fuck up.
I don't know the truth.
That's the challenge.
I don't know the truth.
That's the challenge. It's not where I lived. It's where I was on that day.
I was doing deductive reasoning.
No, be quiet.
To come up with that.
Don't help them out.
All right.
Again, this is July 12th, 2003. What was I doing? And show me a street view of where I was. So it's going to be two separate giveaways, and it's not a wheel. So the first one that gets the right answer is going to win.
Okay, I want to make one guess, and it's not going to give anything away.
No,
I'm not going to give anything away.
Fuck out of here.
I want to know if this is an acceptable answer. I guarantee you, on that day, at one point, you were yelling at somebody.
I'm sure I was. Sure I
was. So does that count as an answer?
No.
Okay. Oh, because they didn't really say where you were yelling at the person.
It's got to be specific.
They just said you were yelling at somebody. Calling somebody a retard or an idiot.
If you think, how the fuck am I going to do that? Stay tuned for my teaching segment.
Oh, got a little teaser. So,
all right, so let's move on.
Now, going back to the New Orleans thing. Since their ballards are not properly maintained, which is basically life-saving equipment, we now know that. They park a cop car there, which and that's acceptable.
I think that's what was there when I was there. It's cop cars.
Okay,
yeah.
So they had a cop car there, and because there's a video of the dude in the truck coming down the street, and he literally goes around the cop car, up on the sidewalk, drives down the sidewalk, and then just guns it. Apparently, the only thing that stopped him was a lift, a boom lift.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really know why he drove right into that, because he could have got around it, and you don't... Trust me, I've been on boom lifts. You don't not see a boom lift. And then he got out of the truck, and he was shot and killed by the New Orleans police. But I also believe he got a few rounds in some cops.
Huh.
So, but I'm going to go ahead and say I'm pretty confident that guy's the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, video of him
he
coming
was
out of his
there,
truck.
and there's a continuity of
completely crazy
evidence and all that.
But... Again, I don't like bringing humor into stuff like this, but the reality is we live in the year we live in, and Xers are kind of we like to laugh. So the FBI brought out their DEI hire to take care of this problem. And her first statement was, "This is not terrorism." Okay, you're an hour into this. How the fuck do you know?
Well, okay, so let's be specific here.
Okay.
Terrorism is when you're doing it to achieve a political end.
Okay.
Right? So now we don't know why the guy did it.
Well, they're calling it terrorism now.
Okay, but do they know why the guy did it? Like, does he have a manifesto or?
Well, if he was radicalized, which I do not know if he was.
Yeah. No, I agree that you shouldn't say it's not terrorism because you don't fucking know.
Right. Well, it's so different when that boat hit the bridge.
Yeah.
Like literally, like the bridge was still collapsing, and Biden's like, "Oh, it's not. I can tell you this. It's not terrorism."
Right. Like you don't know yet. Shut the fuck
up, old man. So they stopped him and all that, but so this DEI hire. Well, there's a couple problems here. One, I did not know this, but the FBI does not allow facial piercings.
Okay. Yeah.
But yet she's got a nose piercing. And is that a big deal? No, it's not. But if it's part of the job, like Chicago police cannot have beards, Chicago firemen cannot have beards.
I'm really annoyed that they like have arm tats and all this. Like, dude, like you're fucking gang. Like, you're a gangbanger. You shouldn't be a cop. I'm sorry.
I met this cop and him and I actually
no visible tats, no piercings.
He was a big burly dude with sleeves down both arms, and we kind of became friends. And he was a neighborhood cop, and we'd always fuck around with each other. But yeah, I agree. You know, have some decorum and some professionalism,
right,
and
like,
not the tattoos are not. I mean,
you want us to respect you and treat you as like a role model to look up to, then fucking act like it.
Yeah, no, but I also don't believe tattoos make you a bad person. I choose not to have any. I mean, I don't know why people would want to put something on their body.
It's not okay. So
that would help police identify them.
Tattoos don't make you a bad person, but bad people tend to be attracted to tattoos.
That was back. That's like 80s, 90s view. Now it's the hipsters. You know, with the man buns.
You don't think those are bad people?
Hipsters?
Yeah.
I mean, they suck.
Well, there you go.
But I mean, I don't know if they're like gangbanging and shooting people.
If you're not happy with the body that the universe or God...
Oh, almost a God gave you. Shit, an atheist just said God.
Now, if you're not happy with what you have going on, that you need to fucking permanently ink yourself, or paint your hair pink, or all this stupid, like...
I do question...
Fix yourself, right?
Yeah, I do question.
Inking yourself is not going to fix you. Your pink hair is not going to fix you. It's not going to make you feel better.
I kind of get it. If you want to tattoo...
It's the red flag. It's a big red flag.
If you want to have like one or two tattoos and they're...
I don't even like that. I think
but if it's like a memorial to someone... I kind of understand that, but I just choose not to do it. I mean, I've got family members that have tats, so I mean, I'm not against them.
It's just it's at the point where like now everyone's doing it, so like you're more of a rebel by not having tattoos.
Yeah.
So like what are you trying to prove? You know, like
well, that's what's ironic. We went from a society of like the badass biker dudes have tattoos to now like the weak, scared people, goth people have tattoos.
Yeah, like it's not cool anymore.
It's done, dude. It's over. Man, put a fork in it. But I believe this is the senator's name. There's a Senator John Kennedy, right?
Yes.
From Louisiana.
I think he's from
Yeah. So when I was reading this article, I'm like, it's Robert Kennedy, dumbass.
But he's not related to them.
No, but then he's not.
No, he's not related to them. I don't think so. Let me double check.
Might. Yeah, I don't know the guy. I just found out about him.
I don't think he is related to them, though.
And his age would make him older than when President Kennedy was elected. Because what is he, like 70?
Yeah, he's up to, he was born in 51.
Yeah, so he was named before John F. Kennedy was John F. Kennedy. So I guess, but John's a very popular name, and Kennedy's in this country, unfortunately, is a very popular name as well. So this DEI hire with her nose piercing, I don't get the nose piercing or the piercing in the nose. I don't. My ears are hole free. But I don't question or judge anybody for doing it. It's your body, dude. You know, who am I to tell you what to do with it? So she's up there like, this is not terrorism. You know, she started doing her spiel. This senator, he's like, enough's enough. Pushes her out of the way. No, bring the video up, dude. It's fucking hysterical. And she's just like, what just happened? And the way he did it very smooth. This is an older man. And he kind of arm first, shoulder in, and just kind of like stepped right in front of her, and then twisted his body to kind of push her in the back. And then more people filled in behind him. So she's like in the back of the room, not quite the back of the room, but she's like, I was just talking to the microphone.
Yeah, he's not in the Kennedy family. It's
Weird.
just a coincidence.
Okay. But I don't know who this guy is, but he's like, we're gonna know what happened.
No, he's really good. You should watch his, because he has videos all over YouTube.
Yeah, we're not gonna hide anything. So brother, get to fucking work. We want to know.
So his best stuff is when they're interviewing judges.
Okay.
And like he's I guess part of that committee or whatever, and he asks them stuff like, what's the 5 prongs of the First Amendment?
I have heard it.
And he asked that to Amy Coney.
With that horrible Southern accent. I go,
Yeah.
I've heard that guy before.
And she didn't know them all. I think she got 3 of them out of the 5. Or like what's a Brady claim to some other judge candidate, and the guy's like, I don't know. I think it's something with guns, or like fucking basic shit. Or like if I were to ask you, I don't know what's the voltage on a standard outlet, and you didn't know the answer. Yeah. I'm not fucking hiring your ass.
Yeah, it would bring into question.
No, he's really good. He's really good. He's not a libertarian, unfortunately, but when he's good, he's good.
So unfortunately, I have this video here. It's just her talking. Yeah. But I didn't know at this time about him, Kennedy, kind of just removing her from the front of the microphone. Thought that was kind of cool. I just want to check my other stories I wanted to talk about.
Lieutenant Diane.
Yeah, Lieutenant Diane. I thought it was funny. Sometimes I post funny shit or something I find funny. What are you going to do? But there's another big story I want to talk about and kind of get your take on it.
Okay.
The fog.
This is retarded, dude. It's just retarded. Like these people have like never seen fog in their lives or something. Okay, I don't understand.
Have you seen some of the videos? It looks like snow is falling.
I just don't care. It's fog. It's fucking fog.
It could be the camera causing this to happen.
Probably.
But it does not look like any fog I've ever seen. Again, I don't ever watch fog on cameras, so I don't know. But I can say this shit looks fucking weird. And, you know, you got the people like, oh my God, I got sick from breathing it.
Yeah, okay. Just like you got sick from breathing COVID and you have long COVID and you have this and that.
But I'm just throwing this out there because it almost looks like, I have no clue what cloud seeding looks like.
Yeah.
But I know people have over cloud seeded before.
But
I'm just curious about this. Is things that make you go,
It's just foggy out. What the fuck?
Dude, maybe I don't have the best video here. It looks like snow was falling in the 50s. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking...
it's so stupid.
All right, let's just move on from that one. But
stupid.
No, it's...
I've driven in fog where I literally couldn't see 5 feet in front of me.
I get that, but is there solid particles in the air?
Not then. But
I mean, like she posted a picture of her dog bowl and shit was floating on top.
Maybe if it's raining or sleeting.
No, and actually, people are like, well, that looks like a larvae. Because I don't know if it was moving on its own or if the wave of the... Hey, I got to look at it in every direction. Yeah, right there. Tell me is that fog? Have you seen fog like that?
That's snow!
It's too fucking cold, too warm to snow.
What do you mean it's too warm to snow?
They're claiming that it's too warm to snow.
How do you know that they're telling the truth?
Because enough people have done it, I have to... I don't know if they're telling the truth. I have to bring it up for question.
So ridiculous.
I have to bring it up to say, because, I mean, we all know cloud seeding exists. And this one I just found funny. So, Camellia Harris was kind of like saying, I worked at McDonald's.
That one's old, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely old.
No, that this shit. Incident, the Photoshop is old, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They photoshopped her face on another McDonald's employee's body, and the background, it lays at home and she's in some kind of
like... It's 1970s decor.
Yeah, which was when she would have been a McDonald's employee.
And I think, because I think they actually tracked that uniform, because McDonald's changed their uniform, and they tracked it to the exact date. And they figured out... I don't know how they figured out who the real photo was. I think they... Well, that'll be part of my topic, actually.
Okay.
It's also in there, yeah.
So we got to the fog. I got to the Chaos book. I highly recommend you read the fucking Chaos book.
Maybe I'll just borrow that from you when you're done with it.
So Project Paperclip, or Operation Paperclip.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
So, I don't know if I brought it up or not. How am I going to find that? Oh, I know. I know what I want to do.
That was the original H-1B program, right?
I believe so. Because I actually just heard of Project Paperclip today.
Really? And I've known about it for a while. I actually name myself that sometimes when I sign up for accounts. Just so if people talk to me on those forums, they'd be like, what is this Operation Paperclip? Let me go Google that.
I get really worked up in the podcast, and I get really into the zone. Did I bring up the NPR title for what happened to the Tesla? I may not brought that up. So the headline to because I was talking to people at work about it, so I forgot. The title to the article was Cyber Tesla truck pulls up in front of Trump Tower, catches on fire, then blows up.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Technically?
No, order of operation.
What do you mean? It caught on fire, then it blew up.
No, it blew up and then caught on fire. Isn't that two different things?
Well, okay, so it's hard to tell from the original video.
Oh, no, that shit blew the fuck up and then caught on fire. There's no doubt in my mind about it. It's just,
I saw it smoking. Like, it starts smoking first. So, you could say that was catching on fire, because I've seen, cars do that.
Okay. So, this is our AI's overview of what Project Paperclip was. I'm just going to read a very quick... it was a secret U.S. intelligence program that brought German and Austria scientists, engineers, and technicians to the United States after World War II.
Yep.
What word is missing out of that?
The N-word?
Yeah, the N-word. not the N-word, but the N-word. Nazis.
A lot of the Paperclip guys were just low-level scientists. Okay. A lot of them were where they had no knowledge of. Now they knew there was oppression against Jews and stuff like that. A lot of them just kept quiet and weren't participating in that. But some of them were really fucking into it. Werner von Braun, who was the head rocket scientist, he fucking hated Jews. And he actually knew about the death camps and all that kind of shit. And he used slave labor from those things. And some of the non-rocket scientist guys, the medical research guys, were doing fucked up medical research on Jewish prisoners. Okay.
So my question to you is, who was the head of NASA during the first moon landing in 1969?
I don't know. Was it Werner von Braun? Eugene Kranz, okay.
So Kranz, that's an Italian last name, right?
Probably.
Italian?
Yeah.
Or it could be Jewish, right? It's kind of an insult there. He's fucking German, dude.
Of course.
He was a Nazi. He was was brought over through Operation... I'm just saying, I mean...
Well,
the head of NASA.
It's weird that that's his name, because almost all those guys got given fake names when they were brought over. So, if you were brought over as part of Paperclip, they actually, held you in a quarantine for 6 months, where they taught you how to speak proper English without an accent.
Okay.
They gave you an identity. They gave you a history. They gave you a new name. It wasn't just fucking okay, come on over. They actually tried to make you fake being an American.
Well, they have... there's a movie made about this, but this is actually true. And I believe, Jesus Christ, where did a lot of the Nazis flee to? What country?
Argentina.
Argentina. So in Argentina, they are German
The Boys from Brazil.
Oh, is that?
That's the movie.
Oh.
Boys from Brazil.
No, I'm thinking about a different... Probably, that name sounds too fancy for the movie I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because mine was a slapstick comedy thing.
Okay.
But... There in that town he just said, I can't remember.
The movie was Boys from Brazil.
Well, no, but there's another movie. It was John Travolta was in it. I'm sure John Travolta wasn't in that movie.
Huh. Okay.
But it was John Travolta. But they set up in this case they were talking about German towns.
Yeah.
Filled with all Russians.
Yeah, Russians
acting like Germans. That's how they train people to be something else.
Weird.
And the movie that I'm talking about was an American. They all were Russians, but they were learning how to be American. So that is a little sketch too, but but that's fine. And I really want to do a little bit more research on Dr. Kurt Bloom, which was he was a Nazi as well. I'm trying to see if he did what he did for a living here, but that's not my point to bring this up. So apparently in the Nazi community, having a wound from dueling or what's when you fight someone with a knife, not fencing, with a shorter knife.
I have no idea.
So, but basically, he has a wound on him, and other Nazis do too. Because if they got a wound from this, they wanted it to be cool.
Like a face scar? Like the
well,
Nazi
right, but
face
they would shove the wound with hay.
Huh.
So it wouldn't heal properly, and the scar would be more pronounced.
Interesting.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they were weird people.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Well, do you know the story of Hitler's mustache?
No.
So, Hitler has that weird, funny mustache, right?
Yeah.
So if you actually look up image search, you can search for Hitler full mustache, and he used to have one of those big twirly German style mustaches.
Oh, like the handlebar shit?
Yeah, handlebars. Yeah.
I can't grow those. I would go.
So that was the style back in Germany in the early 1900s. So Hitler was a soldier in World War I. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was a foot soldier in the infantry, and so World War I they used gas on people,
Right.
and you had to wear a gas mask, right, to protect yourself from the gas, but you couldn't wear that with your handlebar mustache. So a lot of the German soldiers, they would just shave off most of the mustache except for that little part, the Hitler part.
Really?
And so they could fit their gas mask on, and it became stylish after the war for Nazis because it would remind people, hey, we're your war heroes, right? So that's why that mustache got popular in Germany.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
there you go. He says Hitler is cool. Ron said that Hitler is cool.
Yeah, he is.
And
Bob Hitler is an amazing fucking cool guy. You never met Bob Hitler? I mean, I think he should have changed his name, but
I have not met Bob Hitler.
Okay.
Oh, the movie you're talking about is Grease.
Wait, Grease, right?
John Travolta. Saturday
For a
Night
second,
Fever.
I thought you were serious. I'm like, what?
I can't find anything.
I'm looking for it too. I remember seeing it. Maybe it wasn't John. I mean,
I don't know. We have to move on.
yeah, I know. No, The Experts.
The Experts?
Yeah,
I've never heard of that. Huh.
Yeah, The Experts.
I'm gonna have to find a legal copy of this and watch it.
So that would have won the Monero giveaway a couple weeks ago.
It could have.
Because it's a great movie.
Well, it says 4.9. So I don't.
I think Willie Ames was in it too.
Interesting. I'm gonna go find that and check it out.
So, the other thing I wanted to bring up, I didn't post on the X account because I couldn't find a good video of it. You know about the Christmas massacre in Germany?
Yeah.
The guy drove a truck through.
Yeah.
Have you seen what they're doing in Germany? They're ejecting the Middle Eastern people from Germany, the refugees.
Huh.
And I mean, like, seriously, like a bunch of citizens get together and they're like just grabbing them and taking them to the police station. Then there's videos of the police themselves. So here's what's funny. This is the American woke. So there's a video of a German police officer and this Middle Eastern woman or someone of Middle Eastern descent, or at least the color, I don't know what she was walking away from him, and he pushed her to the ground, picked her up, handcuffed her, and brought her over. And everyone's like, oh my God, you can't do that. I'm like, dumbass, you're in Germany. They can. I mean, every military guy I've talked to that's been in Germany, he goes, if you fuck around, they will hit you in the head.
But what did she do?
She was the wrong color, apparently.
See, that's like this fucking retard.
I get it,
it's
it's racist, but...
a Muslim did a bad thing, so let's attack all the other Muslims who didn't do a bad thing.
That's not what I'm advocating. But it's the immigrants coming in causing problems, and sometimes you don't know.
See, like dude,
they're causing a lot of fucking problems in Germany as well as here, as well as France.
You're still attacking the ones that aren't causing the problems because you're too much of a bitch to attack the ones that are actually causing the problem. That's the real issue.
If you can't find them,
well,
it's protection of your country. I don't agree with it. It just
doesn't make any sense.
I do love the passion.
Yeah, Germans are known for that one.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully that Auschwitz stays a museum and that gets refired up again. With them, you never know because they don't like Nazi
Germans, man. Well, that's the thing is like they never stopped being Nazis. They just relabeled it. I'm not kidding.
That's Dave's opinion.
Okay, so Germany split into two, right? And there was East Germany and West Germany.
Yeah, for a while.
And the Soviets controlled East Germany, and they were just basically fucking Nazis that hated Nazis. Literally, I mean, that's what they were.
Yeah.
They had the Stasi, the secret police. I mean, they're fucking insane. And even the West German side, which had like free markets-ish, they still have these weird, like, they didn't repeal a lot of the Nazi laws.
Huh.
So there's still a lot of laws in place that the Nazis created these laws, and they're still there. Like, for example, the ban on homeschooling. Right? Hitler banned homeschooling, and that's still the law in Germany today. And if you ask a German about homeschooling, they will be fucking adamant, like, homeschooling is bad. Like, they start fucking, like, doing this shit. Like, what the fuck, man? Why is homeschooling bad? So because a Nazi made the law in the 1930s?
So we got a Southern accent out of you today, and now a Nazi accent out of you today.
Homeschooling is bad, Jawohl!
Come on,
they're fucking nuts.
an Indian one.
No, I'm not gonna. They're gonna cancel us. No. Would you like a squishy with that? I can do a lot of accents, actually.
Oh, too funny. All right, where are we sitting at here? We're already 55 minutes into the show, so I think it's time to start the training classes.
So, let's learn about OSINT. OSINT is an acronym for Open Source Intelligence. And this is basically learning info about people from publicly available sources. Oh. So there's both black hat purposes and white hat purposes. For example, you can use it to blackmail people, stalk your ex-girlfriend or boyfriend. You can use it to SWAT people. Now, like, obviously we don't condone any of that stuff, but this is how a lot of these people get this information to do these things. So you want to be able to be on guard against it, right? So what are some white hat purposes? Knowing the info that is available on you and your loved ones, right? So if you if you talk a lot of shit online, like some of us do, you want to know what info about you is available that other people might use to blackmail you, right? Skip tracing and bounty hunting. So when someone has a warrant out for their arrest, it's not always the cops that go after them.
Okay.
Right? So there's a private market where you can be a bounty hunter. And you would basically go collect the bounty, and you want to be able to figure out where this guy's hiding, right? How do I find this guy? And there's a whole entire profession dedicated to this. Also, government accountability, right?
Yep.
So if your representative is doing shady shit, you want to be able to find this info and be able to expose it, bring it to light, right?
Yeah.
So this is one way you might be able to do that. So the best way to do this these days is social networks. I mean, this is a fucking, like, God's gift to the bounty hunting profession,
to the
right?
FBI or the federal government.
Right. Yeah. So what you want to do with social networks is a lot of them are spying on you, right? So you don't really want to use them per se, but you do want to have an account.
Right.
Because if you don't have an account, well, you can't search it, right? Having an account is what lets you search these sites.
Uh-huh.
So like Facebook, for example, if you go to Facebook with no account, no login, you can't see anything. But if you make a blank login, you can start searching people.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's right, okay.
So, I mean, like most people on these sites, they just share everything about their lives, right? They'll just tell you everything you want to look for.
Take pictures that are geotagged?
Right, yeah, geotag pictures, all that stuff. Now, I think a lot of the sites will scrub the geotag, but some of them don't.
Well, Facebook used to.
Yeah.
Do they do it now?
I don't know, because a lot of times when people post this stuff, they actually want to tell people where they are. Like, hey, I'm at the Grand Canyon. Look at my photo of the Grand Canyon.
So I actually have a picture that was posted on Facebook. I would love to know the geotag of. I cannot figure out how to do that. But
I know how to. It was on our steganography show, how to do that stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm not. I get lost in the computer talk.
Okay, so when you're surfing Facebook or X or whatever, take note of people's usernames, right? Because the name that they use for the username is often searchable, right? Okay. So if you have your real name up there, that's in addition to the username. That's two different things. Emails, those are searchable. Birthdays, that's a very important thing to note because people reuse these things all over the place, right? Another thing you want to do is go through friend lists. So if you are searching for Jim Bob, look at Jim's Bob friends list because you never know who might be in there. Yeah. The connections you can flow through. Now, there's a lot of weird network effects in the way this stuff works. So if you note, like, mathematically, there will usually be like 10% of people that have a shitload of friends, right?
Right.
And like most other people only have a couple friends.
Okay.
So what you want to do is find those nexuses, right? Find these people that have a shitload of friends, and then go to their friends list. And then, like, you can scroll through and find who you're looking for.
I used to play a game on Facebook before they gave everybody the permission, or before everybody started locking their profiles down, I would just type a random name in, and then I would start going to their friends list and clicking on their friends list to see how many spots of separation we have between a mutual friend. I usually get within 10 or 12.
There's actually programs that do that for you too. They automatically do it. The other thing,
cable's out or something.
You can get work history. Like people say, "Oh, I got a new job at so and so." Like look through their posts. They might say that stuff. Where they've been, where they used to live, who they used to date, all that kind of stuff. It's all up there for free. People don't usually scrub their history. So another thing you can do is use search engines intelligently. So a lot of people don't know this, but there's special characters you can type in on a lot of search engines that will modify the search. So for example, Google is the prime example of this because they do all the features. So if you put the plus character, it will guarantee that word must be in the results.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because a lot of times you'll type in a phrase and like it doesn't include your phrase. And you're
because the first result, I'm like, oh my god, this is what I'm looking for, and then go excludes 2 or 3 words. I'm like, shit.
But so if you put the plus next to a word, it will always guarantee that word's in there. Now, if you put quotes around a phrase, it will search for that phrase. Not the components of the phrase.
That's what I knew.
You can do a minus, which will say don't include this word. Anything that has this word, ignore it.
I like that one.
Because so a lot of times, especially if you're searching for people and someone shares a name with a famous person, right? Like you want to, like for example, someone was searching for me through our X account, and apparently I have the same name as a guy in a band.
Okay.
And the band's called the Monks. So if you're looking for me, you want to actually put minus Monks. So now none of the searches related to that guy show up, right? You can do site limiting. So you can say site : and then the website, and now all the results will be on that website only. So you want to learn all these things, and there's I don't know how to get to it exactly, but Google has like the full details on how to do all this stuff, all the special characters. So yeah, you want to like search for that username that you recorded, search for that email, search for his phone number, and make sure you do exact match searches. You can restrict searches to cities or locations, right? You can say only Las Vegas, only Chicago.
Now, do you put any special characters when you do that?
Well, use the plus or use the quotes. Okay. Yeah. And then like you can use combined info in intelligent ways. So make sure you're doing that. So, put someone's real name and their username, or put someone's real name and their birthday, and that narrows it down to that person in case there's shared names or all sorts of weird bullshit. Archive.org is another thing you want to look at. So archive.org, what they do is every time interval, they take a snapshot of a website.
Yeah.
And they take everything, right?
Yeah.
So now if the owner of that website deletes something, it's still up on archive.org.
Right, it doesn't delete that.
So if someone runs a website that has info on somebody or something, and maybe they delete old posts because you don't want to store data forever, you can go find that stuff on archive.org. And it is searchable, so the search is not great, but it is doable.
I've used it once or twice.
Yeah, learn how their search works. And like when someone tweets something or posts something on X or Facebook, get an archive link yourself. So you can tell archive, hey, go archive this. And that way if they delete it, you have evidence that they actually did it. Who would
delete their X tweets or their tweets?
Politicians.
Oh, because they said something stupid?
Yeah.
Or they had pictures they want to get off, like with Diddy or... Okay.
Yep.
Just checking.
So business searches. Most governments require all businesses to have registration info. So you can go search that info, or go down to the government office that handles it, maybe the clerk or whoever the fuck, ask them, I need to search info on this business. So that you can get a lot of info from that, like who runs the business.
Yeah.
Is this Joe Biden's secret shell corporation? All that kind of stuff. Now, every publicly traded corporation has to disclose their executive board, their financial statements, and a whole shitload of other stuff. Yeah, and that's all public.
Yeah.
So you can go to their website, you'll be able to find it there, read through it all, and get a lot of the info you need from there. Freedom of Information Act. I'm going to do a future episode on just this.
Oh, cool.
But I'm just going to give you the quick rundown. Freedom of Information Act will give you things like criminal records, civil trials, any government affiliations.
Yeah. Have you ever done a FOIA before?
So I've tried to, and I don't want to get into the whole thing because I want to save the episode for that. But
no, it was a Henderson police who actually were very. Well, I told you that story, didn't I?
Yeah, you told the story on the show.
But Henderson is very good about doing it. I give them credit. Vegas is not.
I might do that next week.
Okay.
So stay tuned next week if you want to get more info on Freedom of Information Act. So map websites, and not just Google. There's a lot of good map sites out there. There's like OpenStreetMap. There's DFlock, and I want to do a future episode on these things too, because map stuff can just go on forever. There's a ton of info.
Is there more than besides Google that use the government satellites to get the mapping stuff? 'Cause that's what Google does.
I'm pretty sure, because that's all public. That's actually unencrypted data, and you can do that yourself.
Okay.
So if you have a satellite dish, and you figure out where their satellite is in the sky, you can get that image.
Well, no, because Google's an NGO, the non-government organization. They had special permission to use the military-grade mapping system, which may be obsolete by now. I don't know. But yeah, that's why their mapping system was actually pretty good for a while.
Interesting. So, but
they track the fuck out.
You can get GIS info on certain map sites, and like this will tell you what's a public right-of-way. What's public property versus private property, and that stuff can be important too.
That stuff's important besides if you want to do certain things.
So again, you can get addresses and nearby landmarks, and that can help you track someone down. Yeah. Like if someone posted a photo and they had a McDonald's sign in the background, right? Like you can maybe narrow down where that location is based on that McDonald's sign and map websites. Dark web and also leaks. So there's data that gets leaked on the dark web.
Okay.
You can find a lot of info on this. I know I talked on the episode a while ago about the NPD leak, which had everyone's social security number and address history and all that shit, and that was legit. So if you can get a hold of these leaks, you can get info on people, right? Cryptocurrency. So almost everything other than Monero can be traced. So if you're trading Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Solana, all these fucking nonsense things, every trade you make is on the public blockchain. And anyone can figure out what money came in, what money went out.
Okay.
Right? So if you can learn somebody's Bitcoin address, for example, you can trace that all the way back in time and figure out who they buy and sell with, what their income is, what their net worth is. So learn how to do this stuff. Like use the Explorer tools for all these crypto chains and be comfortable with it. Figure out how to trace crypto transactions. You can learn a lot from that.
Okay.
And there's one website where like all this info and a shitload more can be found. It's called OSINTframework.com.
Okay.
And I'm going to have a link to it on the website. And it just gives you like all the rundown of, the steps you want to take based on what you're searching for, who you're searching for, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, you should be able to use the knowledge gained to solve our Monero challenge. And do anything else that you want to do with that info.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, that's why I like my name. I was even at the hot tub store. I had bought a hot tub like 3 or 4 years ago, and I went there to buy a part for it, but I didn't bring the model number. He goes, I'll just look you up. I go, last name's Morgan, right? He's like, dude, I got like 6 pages of run number. It's a fucking tiny little hot tub store in Vegas. Yeah, so mine is just flooded with idiots. I mean, I don't
you can legally change your name too. So, like, if I want to, I could be Ron Morgan.
Well, you should. You get buried in the internet searches, and you would go up like 3 levels of awesomeness. So you're a crypto guy.
Yeah.
And you just brought that up. But you had mentioned some cryptocurrencies, but I think you left one off.
Oh, yeah? Dogecoin?
Buttcoin.
Buttcoin?
Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fartcoin. There's all a bunch of...
It makes me laugh.
Fucking stupid.
It's butt, fart, penis. All those words make me laugh. And one thing I did miss with the fake fog. No. There's a patent on fake fog. It's that's the patent number right there.
The stuff they put in movies, you mean?
No, about making fake shit, and I'm telling you, they're trying to seed. I'm telling you, they're trying to fucking seed.
Oh my God!
We'll see. You seed first, and then Bill Gates comes through with his hurricane bus, and that's where it goes. So, now that I'm done being stupid, so I'm going to do another training one on welding. It was a request to do it. I have welded. I just don't do it a lot. I sweat pipe together and braze. So sweating is joining copper pipes together. And brazing is joining copper pipes together for AC units. Because the Freon runs at a higher pressure, so you got to use a better metal to bond it together. You can't... I have seen idiots use solder when they're trying to braze. They think it's going to hold. It's not going to hold. But what we didn't find out is what the purpose of what welding they wanted to do, because welding has so many different varieties in a home. There's not a whole lot of uses for welding. I mean, unless you're fixing like metal furniture, a metal fence, or you want to or you have the grates over your windows, and you can weld your own together. I don't know. I think one of the U-Haul trucks just blew up. I got 3 U-Haul trucks parked outside my house, all within like a quarter of a block. And they've been there for like 5 days, and nobody in the neighborhood knows whose they are. So I just assume that they're going to blow the U-Hauls up while Dave and I are in here to try to kill us. I mean, that's just the most logical. That's Octom's razor right there. What's the most obvious solution? They're trying to kill me. Because we've tapped into something that they don't want us to know about. But with welding can be a lot of fun. It can be used for industrial purposes, military stuff, and even art. And maybe somebody wants to talk about the art. But you just got to know what kind of welding you want to do. You got MIG, TIG, stick, and flux. This I actually looked up. I mainly deal with MIG and TIG when I have done it. And I had a friend of mine teaching me how to do it when I was building one of my trikes. But I mean, for welding, the best I can say is kind of like just go online and find out what your purpose is, and then kind of go from there. It's just you're joining 2 pieces of metal, whether it be for art or maybe you want to build your own Tesla truck. I don't know. No, it's just I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to break it down. One, because I'm not real knowledgeable on it, but I also do know about it. Just trying to see what else is here.
I mean, is there like a specific kind of torch that
so it's MIG and TIG, and it's all that stuff kind of comes into play. Some's got gas, some doesn't. I mainly do wire fed, but I have done it. And that's just a machine that just kind of puts the wire out, and you just kind of do it. And there's definitely a talent to it. It's funny. Welding's one of the things that comes up a lot. They're like, well, we want to pay a welder $15 an hour. Or, they would do like a real shitty weld. Well, that's your fucking weld for $15 an hour. Yeah. If you want this weld, this is more like 45 or 50, and it's really nice and tight and pretty. You kind of grind it a little bit, smooth it out. You could, if you're doing car repairs, you use welding in the old days when we actually had metal on cars. Even the metal cars aren't real metal. So, running for office, I wanted...
the bodies aren't metal.
Well, no, but like 2.5 years ago, when the first time I ran for office, I wanted to get magnetic signs for my Jeep.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, "Oh, I'm glad you brought your car in with you. I need to see if the magnet sticks to it." I go, "Dude, it's a Jeep. The magnets are going to stick to it." He's like, "Oh, let's go out there." Sure enough, he throws it on there. It just slides to the floor. But you knock on it, it sounds and feels like metal. So it's a version of metal, like pot metal. It's just
it could be like aluminum where it's not magnetic or...
Yeah, no, that's a pot metal. They mix a bunch of different metals together, and it ain't really that strong, which kind of questions Jeep right now. But most of my Jeeps are old, so they're steel. So it's just, welding's, it's something that takes some time to learn, but it's actually kind of fun. I mean, if you want to do an art project, so you can just buy a cheap welder or go to a state sale or a flea market, pick one up and play with it. Understand, though, you got gloves are important, the mask with the vision, you don't want to burn your eyeballs up.
Here we go, advocating masks again.
Yeah, I know. And it's just, there's a lot of stuff you can do with it, but understand the safety precautions, because welding can kind of fuck you up if you don't know what you're doing. And that's why the few times that I have welded, I've had a friend that knows what they're doing with me to make sure I'm doing it right. But, I mean, and honestly, just go, there's artists making tons of money just welding shit together. And in some kind of thing, and they call it something, and people are like, "Oh my God, that's beautiful." But I mean, in all seriousness, my grandfather used to work on a plastics factory back in the 70s, and the machines would discharge the leftover plastic. It was just into a blob.
Yeah,
he was selling at his garage sale. People would eat that shit up. "Oh, this looks like Cousin Bob." We're all like, "What the fuck does Cousin Bob look like?" But so people buy weird shit. So if you want to just play around, I recommend starting that. Like when I taught a person how to sweat pipe, I'm like, "Well, here's some copper, here's some fittings." Told them what the preparation is, how you got to prep it, and how you got to do it. With sweating, so it's real easy. You clean it, flux it, and then inside when you join the two pieces of copper pipe together, you have a fitting that's holding them together. You heat the fitting, and it sucks in the solder. It's that simple. And that is for home repairs. You can do that for home repairs a lot, even though they're kind of getting away from copper now, which is still weird to me. I mean, copper is like the perfect metal for water.
Well, it's expensive.
But it creates a barrier between the metal and the water.
It's expensive.
It's better than PEX. I'm trying to get to like PEX. PEX is a new plastic pipe. Well, it's been out for a while. It's just brazing's kind of cool because you can control the brazing with the torch and it follows the heat. That's always kind of fun. But yeah, I would recommend playing with it. You could buy a cheap welder. Again, learn the safety precautions, learn the preparation, and just learn. You might become a famous artist. I don't know. Maybe I might.
Maybe they could make a Canary in the Cage, a cage for us.
Ooh, an actual
there you go.
like full on like caveman cage.
Yeah.
They actually use it instead of that one that I bought at an antique store and painted black because it was like yellow. I'm like, I'm not having a yellow cage. Oh, we're tough. We're men. We need black. That being said, there was a friend of mine from back in Chicago. He's a black guy. And he was making a post about like racism, and he put the white egg, the beige egg, and the darker brown egg, and then the post below was all three yolks looking the same.
Yeah.
And he goes, "See, racism's stupid," or something like that. And I go, "Huh? I expected one of the yolks to be bigger."
God.
Hey, he understands me. He understands that it's all for fun. Yeah, I think that. I mean, we're at an hour 15. That's not bad.
Cool. Well,
yeah, and actually, if you got any questions you have about something that you can learn from, you've got a computer guy and a home guy. So I can learn about stuff I don't know about it, but I have a basic knowledge of most everything at this point because I'm old and I like to tell stories. So yeah, just send us a message. Let us know what you want to talk about, and we'll figure it out.
Cool.
So
see you next week.
Have a good New Year, and see you next week. Goodbye. Thank you for joining us at the Canary in the Cage podcast.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share us to help build the community.
You can find us at Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, or your favorite podcast app, and even on the dark web at I2P.
Thanks for listening, and see you next time.